Hey, listen, that was kind of nice. I love that music right there. What's up, everybody? This is Set Apart with Ren and Didi, where we talk about everything and nothing at the same time.
Both of them.
We're your hosts, Ren and Didi. Say what's up to the people, Didi.
I'm Dee Dee. What's up, everybody?
And we are gonna get into an icebreaker first because I need to know. Christmas wasn't too long ago. Too long ago means I feel like you could talk about Christmas all the way up until July, and then after July, so that's the thing. After July, you can talk about Christmas more. So really, it's only
Oh
one
my.
month where you can't talk about Christmas, and that's for you us ridiculous people that like to listen to Christmas music in the summer months. Um, so we gonna play a little icebreaker. We're gonna break the ice a little bit here. We're gonna go with our top three Christmas songs of all time. We're gonna go back and forth with it. Let's start first. Hold up, because we have to give some homage to the first song that did not make the list. So what's the honorable mention? When you think about your top three, what's that fourth song where it's like, it was so close, maybe it was in that third spot, or maybe it was in that first spot, but it just got edged out by that new hotness. What you got, Didi?
This is hard for me. But the first thing that comes to mind is Silent Night.
Okay, by who though? It's a lot of them.
I know it's a lot of them, but I'm gonna go with the Temptations. I know it's a hit. I know it's a classic. It's one of my favorites, but it's enough.
And listen, I think not too long ago you had that. Sometimes you post things on social media, and I'm like, man, nobody feels this more than I feel this. And when you had that shirt on that said, I could hear it in my brain, in
Exactly.
my mind.
Yes.
Ooh, that's good. So
Yeah.
that's the top three, or is that honorable
That's
mention?
honorable mention. Only because there's been some new stuff, and I won't say new stuff. There's been some new renditions, new versions
Okay,
of new stuff. But that's honorable mention because it's always going to be played. And the reason I wore that shirt is because I think that puts people in the spirit.
okay, you're right. Okay,
The
I
same
I
same reaction you had.
as much as it hurts that that's your honorable mention, that hurts. Oh, okay. Let me give you my honorable mention real quick because
Okay.
this was number one for me for a while. I don't know if you are probably familiar with this. Boys to Men, Let It Snow.
Mm,
Let it snow, let it snow, cause oh my goodness, listen, that hits. That's the honorable mention.
dang. See that one has a special place in my heart. I
It
did
does.
that for
It did.
karaoke this year. Christmas
Oof,
karaoke.
oof. Listen, it didn't make it though. It didn't make it. So I'm sorry,
Dang.
boys and men. I'm sorry, but y'all didn't make it this time. Okay, we gonna go. We don't gotta necessarily go in order, but what's that number three? What's number three? Let's go three, two, one.
Okay. So this is not in order of importance, but they in the top
Okay.
three. Um, I'm gonna have to go with. Oh, this is so hard.
Ooh. I know you're hurting right now. I know you're hurting.
This is so hard. I'm gonna have to go with this Christmas.
This Christmas. Okay, by who though?
All of
We got
them.
to know.
All
Oh,
of
you
them.
can't. Oh, you can't do a cop
Because
out like that.
we don't need no more. We
You're
don't need
right.
no more people singing this Christmas. We don't
You're
need it
right.
no more. We don't need
You
the gospel singer singing it. We don't need the R&B singer singing it. We definitely don't need the pop singer singing it. We
you're
don't need the
right.
country folk singing it.
You're right. I
If it ain't
I
Donny
I agree with
Hathaway,
you.
keep it.
You're right. You're right. Okay. Listen, I am going to tell you this, and I'm going to admit this to you. It took a while. Took a while. Because in my top three as well, this Christmas is in there. But it took a while for me to like the Chris Brown version of it. But I give me my Hathaway. Like,
Yeah,
nobody but Hathaway. If we're talking about the greatest rendition of it,
yeah.
I can't. It can't beat that for me.
We've had enough. And I love
Yeah.
Chris Brown's version. And I love the movie this Christmas.
Right.
But that's
That's good.
enough.
That's enough. All right. What's number two for you, Didi?
But what's your number three?
Number three had to be, yeah, in no special order. It will be that Donny
Okay.
Hathaway, this Christmas. I think it's iconic. Beverly, who is my mom, will be very proud of that decision. Like I have won some respect in her eyes by saying that.
We thank you, Miss Beverly.
Yeah, thank you. All right, number two. Here we go, because it gets harder.
Okay.
I feel like it
It
gets
does
harder.
it does get hard. Dang. I know what my top is, but
Mm.
one of my favorite singers, he's probably all time, is PJ Morton. And
Okay.
PJ, he good at spitting out albums. Like what one
Mm.
twice a year, what you need. I got songs. But he did a
I mean,
Christmas album.
they the greatest to do it since Maverick City. They drop every weekend, but he dropped a lot. I mean,
I mean,
I,
2020, Maverick City every Friday night.
every Friday
Oh
night,
my
new album
God.
was good. Shout out to Maverick City.
Shout out, but God, y'all took over. But PJ Morton put out a Christmas album, I think at the end of 2019 or 2020.
Okay.
And this is one of them songs that just make you feel good. It don't necessarily have to be the greatest, but he did a song with Yolanda Adams called "Do You Believe," and I just
Mm.
like it. I
Okay.
just like it because it ain't something that's been done before. If it has, I don't know about it, so I like it. It's called "Do You
I'm
Believe."
You have to send that to me because I'm sadly that's not in my repertoire right now. I
His Christmas
apologize.
record is cool.
Okay. I'm gonna get to that. And so number two for me, I had just like you had, I had that Silent Night by the Temptations. Okay. Now it's something about that song.
Yeah.
And granted, Temptations was before both of our times. Um, it's something about that song that like literally when it first start that in my mind,
That's it. That's all you need.
in my soul, in my
Yeah.
soul. That
Listen,
has to be in the top three for me.
I think black people thought the name of the song was In My Mind.
Yeah, exactly. Until at the end, because here's the thing though, in my mind is obtainable. When you think about that song, when you think about the note he hit, it is obtainable. Now, what is not obtainable is at the end that Friday night. Ain't nobody got those vocal pipes like that.
Listen, he didn't say Silent Night till about 10 minutes in. So
Exactly.
nobody knew. Put on that In My Mind.
In my mind, yes, yes.
Yeah,
Until this day, I can't even tell you what the words after that is. I don't know what was in his mind, but I know it was in his mind.
just some other words.
Just some other words. All
Yeah.
right, here we go. We are in our last slot. Number
Mm,
one. What it look like?
hands down, Oh Holy Night.
Mm.
Because, and it's not about who sings it, but those
Oh,
words, fall on your knees. Hear when I listen to the words of that song, I
yes.
I envision literally when Jesus came into the earth.
Mm.
Fall on your knees, hear the angels' voices. Oh, night divine.
Yes.
Like that's what that song is Christmas to
Yes.
me.
Yes.
And if you got a
You're
good
right.
choir with you
Uh-huh.
singing that with some good strings, I'm
Yes.
I'm I'm toast.
Well, that is the whole thing. And you know what? I'm gonna be I'm very sad. Now that you said that, I should have went first because you messed my whole mind up on that. Like now that you said that, like you just put it perfectly. Like that is exactly the mindset, the spirit behind it. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Listen,
Yeah.
everybody who ever sing it, just the song itself is
Listen,
immortalized.
give me a good
Um,
Christmas Eve service. I cry every time.
every time,
Every
every time
time.
I went to a Christmas Eve service and they sung it there, and I was like, listen, y'all okay with me? Y'all okay with me?
Yeah.
This right here makes y'all okay with me. Sadly, and of course, we talked about this pre-hand and we kind of wrote some things down. That's not what I wrote. Um, And I want to, something about my brain and my hand wanted to write something really, really deep. It wanted to, man, I wanted to wow y'all with this final song. But the only thing that came to mind,
Is the trap.
sorry, not sorry, was I don't know if you ever heard it. It's called Christmas Tree Farm by Taylor Swift. Listen, yeah, it's like that. Something about in my heart, it's a Christmas tree farm where the people can hang. Listen,
I'm
it's
so sorry, Miss Beverly. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry. I probably got my respect taken after that one. But listen, T Swift is got so much street cred back at home with me. She's the only person that is not a gangster that can come into a gangster environment and be welcome.
Really?
Um, listen, she knows. She knows. All right. She knows. Like we may change her songs now and then. We may add um some some words that should not be there or may not really be in the real version of it. Um, like she still got a song that I don't even know what it really say, but got a whole list of Starbucks lovers. Like I don't know if she said Starbucks, but that is what hits my soul.
I
I'm gonna
definitely
say
don't know.
Starbucks. I'm gonna say Starbucks. So if
Christmas Tree Farm. I'm gonna have to look that one
you
up
don't have to,
because
because yes, do
sorry.
that. Do that. And so if you see this posted and you got a favorite Christmas song, or if you either agree or disagree with my list, once again, sorry, not sorry. Let us know down in the comments. Please let us know what you think, because we're trying to get some more Christmas songs in our repertoire. And who knows, maybe this time next year or in the next coming years, we'll do a top 10 list, and we're gonna have to put them in
Listen,
actual
because
order.
I
You think
forgot
you
one
can
of
do
my
that?
favorites. Yeah,
You think you can actually do a top 10 and put them in order?
I can do the top half in order
Okay, yeah. I don't know if I could sleep at night if I actually had to put them in a specific order. Um,
because Boys to Men is
listen,
back.
oh, it's back. Oh yeah, it's back. Um, but we are going to continue today with our topic that we kind of started on before. We were talking about dating. Like, what does it look like to date in this world? It's so much pressure. It's so much things that culture say that we should value in our dating lives. But then, of course, like the Bible does say different often and a lot of times. And then our family and just like everything has to do with the way that we pursue one another, or what we accept in the dating world, or what do we even consider dating. And so I had a question out here that is simply this: do we inspect start with an IN, what we expect starts with an EX. And what I mean by that is that I can tell you, Dee, that, and I don't mean to pick on the ladies. I'm just telling you in my life that I know more ladies this way than I do guys. Um, and I'm giving respect to these ladies actually, because they're some of the best thinkers that I know. Like they put really a lot of thought into what they do. They really very seldomly do things on a whim. And so they will say that they want this type of guy. Ooh, I want him to be a good leader. I want him to be um man, I want him to love God. They'll say that. Oh, they'll say that first. I want him to love God. I want him to have a relationship with the Lord. I want him to be a leader. I want him to be able to provide for me and my family, not only financially, because financially is something that, we would think that people would start with, but like emotionally, with time, with really caring about actually having a family. And they'll say all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
But I kid you not, and this is for my close personal friends. So I apologize if you think that this is you, because if you think that this is you, it
It's
probably is you.
you.
It probably is
It's
you.
you.
Um, but they'll say they want all these things, and then the first dude with a nice haircut and a gold chain will get in the door. Will get
Mm,
in the door. Now, don't get me wrong, he got the fresh J's on. He looking good. Dude's a smooth brother, and I can tell you. But in my opinion, sorry for giving my opinion, but I'm like, man, listen, in terms of what she said she wanted versus what she got right now, this
mm.
dude don't hold a candle to that list. And so if we say that we want all these things, are we then inspecting these people, expecting people to meet to this level of standard that we set? Are we saying before we even get to the dating realm, yeah, I want this, this, and this? Are we looking at our person saying, do you have this and this and this? Okay, then you don't even get in the door. What does that look like from your perspective, Didi? What does that look like in the scenarios that you may have seen? Or what is just let the brothers know, what is the disconnect between what you want and then what you end up getting? Because this feels like a terrible purchase. Let me know, Didi.
Oh my goodness. I'll say I'll start with this. I will say that you're on the right track with what you have observed and think.
Okay.
But I don't want you to look at it as you competing with something. So she might say she's looking for this, and this, but she's letting this and this in that doesn't look like what she said she wanted. But you're right. That is what happens. And
Right.
I think, I'll say that men do. We feel the same way toward you all.
Without
But
doubt.
I don't know why. Actually, I'll put it like this: we have always, often, I won't say always, we have often been told that our list is unattainable.
Hmm.
That our list, nobody's gonna have all of those things.
Hmm.
So some people have preached to us, throw that list away. Some people have preached to us, if you can't meet your list, why do you deserve to make a list?
Hmm.
So then, because of how I feel about myself, I might burn my list because I feel like I don't deserve the desires of my heart
Okay.
because I'm not there yet, which is another
Hmm.
lie, but we can go there another time.
Yeah.
Because if that was the case, what is grace? But anyway, I digress.
Hey,
I'm
you
just
can't even see my
saying.
fingers in this. I feel you. No, I feel you.
But I think the reason why we may start not, we meet somebody and we're like, when we look at the list we made and then we look at him, it's like, if I require these things of him, will that be too much and he'll be no longer interested in me?
Hmm.
So should I just take what I can get because that's what I got now? Or
Ooh.
what if nobody else comes my way and this is my only opportunity? Because the
Ooh.
last time I had standards, he told me it was too much for him.
Hmm.
He told me I was trying to make him somebody he's not.
I mean, but that's the next thing, right? Because if we're talking about standards, like if I have a list, and of course this is from my point of view, so I can't speak into even the girls that I talked to or the example that I just gave, but in my point of view, when you have a standard that you set, when you have
Mhm.
that expectation that you hold dear to your heart with that list, like these are qualities that you already have. Like I'm not turning you into anything. So to me, like if you don't have this, it answers the question for me. Like you
Right.
do not have these things. And so for a female, I would say like, hey, one thing that she has to be okay with or is on my list, if you will, is that you can navigate change. Like
Mm.
navigating change is hard. Why? Because we all want to be comfortable. But if every single like time we change plans or maybe things just don't go exactly like we think they're gonna go, she crumbles. Well, I don't have to answer if she has this or not. It's it's answered itself. And
Right.
so like what is the or is there a disconnect to where like you see the questions are answered. You probably
Absolutely.
don't like the answer,
Absolutely.
but but because you even spoke to something where it's like, oh, you're trying to change me. Well, in order to change somebody, there's something that is not there. We're trying to
Yeah.
force something in there. Is it just like we start to catch feelings and maybe we're like, oh, I'm gonna make this work, or like what is it?
That's what it is. Not so simply though. So that's what it is. So if I catch feelings, I'll put, let's identify the feelings. The feelings is I admire. He's attractive, the way he carries himself. Yes, A crispy fade helps.
Hey, listen.
I must, you know.
Shout out to the barber.
Shout out to the barbers of America,
Yeah,
because listen,
he done help us obtain some things that we would never have done on our own. Amen.
ooh, ooh, I'm just gonna put it out there. If you fresh out the chair, my man,
Yeah, yeah. And you feel different when you get that new haircut.
listen,
You feel
and
different.
you look different. Okay, let me tell you something. I don't know what they call pheromones, all that nonsense, but when y'all step out that chair,
Hey,
okay, that's enough. But I'm just
crispy.
saying, when you step out that chair and you're crispy,
Uh-huh.
I mean that obviously that's superficial. That can only get you so far. But
Right.
when we like what we see, just like you all, it's like, because the makeup of a woman is to be a helper, a facilitator, a supporter. If I already like how you look and I like how you talk, I'm looking for a way to make this work, even
Right.
though it's not working. So I might bend
Right.
because I like you. I might lower my standard. Or if you say something like, I'm trying to change you, I'm going to let up on my standard because I like you.
Right.
So I'm trying to make something happen that, like you said, the questions have already been answered. But because I like this person, I'm trying to bend and flex and do all these different things to make it comfortable enough for you to stay.
Right.
But
Okay.
when I say I'm doing that, that's because I like you more than I like me.
Mm.
And
Mm.
I've been taught not to ask too much, because
Mm.
you this is what they'll say. Somebody else will do it if you don't. So if I'm
Mm.
being taught that as a little girl all my life,
Yeah.
I'm looking for ways to make it comfortable enough for him to stay. Even what how lower of a standard can you have
Yeah.
when just staying is enough?
Yeah. Just
That's it.
just
I just gotta say,
participation. People being
not even participate. I just
people
gotta be
getting
here.
grade for attendance. Yeah.
I just gotta show
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
and I make the team. I didn't fill
That's a
out no
low standard.
application. I didn't get no physical,
That's
no
low.
mental evaluation, no
Yeah.
interview, no second interview. All I gotta do is show up.
That's a low standard. And so for my women, I mean, so I'm gonna take it from two spots, okay? For my women, I have, and I just, it's funny because I just got done having a conversation like this. I have such high regard for like some of our sisters in general. It's like you don't understand that, like, if we're talking biblically, you're worth way more than silver and gold. Like, if there's no amount of dollar sign we can put on who you are. And so, like, for my women, I wish that not only that they knew that, because it's easy to get a tattoo, it's easy to put something on our bios, it's easy to sit up here and say it, but no, live it out.
Yeah.
Know that you are, and not in an arrogant way. You don't have to like be arrogant. Like, I'm not, even if I have a Benz, just because I'm not arrogant, flashying it around and stuff like that, don't mean I'm gonna treat it like a Honda. No, this
There you
mug is a
go.
Benz. I'm gonna take care of the thing that I spent my hard money on. And so for people that not only know their worth, but then live in that worth. And secondly, for us guys, and so let me rant on the guys real quick, because like we don't get off the cuff. We would say we want this and this and that in a woman, but we are often deceived by our optical nerves, what we see with our eye. Like, we can say, oh, we want a woman that is conducive and is okay with change. She not okay
Mhm.
with change, but she bad. When I tell you she bad, I mean she bad. Like, it's all of these things where we're like, we remember the list,
Uh-huh.
but we can't get past what we see. And that's an issue as well. And so if we are thinking wisely, let's put some wisdom into this, right?
Mhm.
For us guys, I think it's very good to assess where is she at on your list of things that
Mm.
you find in a partner, but at the same time, I would come out, and this is me being a very forthright person. I will come out and ask her what hers is. Because the honesty is like I have to be honest where I am, like not be too arrogant, not to be too low on myself. Like if she says I need a guy who is going to help me raise a family and tend to my farm, I have to be honest with you and say I'm probably not that person. Like I have to be honest, and so
Yeah.
a lot of okay, and this is confusing because I don't even know what this idea is. Me and one of my good friends, you know him, Ed. We often talk about there's girls that can come about who see our lifestyle, who see the way we are unapologetically ourselves and respect it, but they will fall in like or in love with the idea of us,
For sure.
but not the person who we are. And what that means is that no, it looks good. Yes, it looks good. What we're doing, you see me at a feeding for homeless event. You see me, doing this at church. You see me helping somebody. Like you love the good energy that what we do makes you feel like. But I have a question, and this is not to be so. This is not in spite, but like I have a question for half of those girls. And it's like, do you really know us though? Like, do you understand what our hearts? Why does it look like this? Where's the downfalls? Where do we want to be? Where are we going with all of this? And quite honestly, more times than not, they love the idea of us more than they actually like us in general because they don't know us
Yeah,
well enough to like us or not. And it's the same way with guys.
for
We
sure.
love the idea of a woman. Like don't like let me destroy this right now for you.
Destroy it. Let's go.
Guys talk and think, even if they don't speak it with their mouth, they think about what a trophy wife looks like.
Okay.
Now, that could be more than physical. That could be
Mm-hmm.
more than physical because as an athlete, I love competition. Like, I think competitive people get a bad rap. I really do. Like, I'll never jeopardize my character for it. But if you're asking, do I love competition? Yes. I love the fire. I love the not maybe being good at something or compromise, like getting better at what you're good at so you can overcome your weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
I love just the psychology of it. And so because of that, like I would love a woman to come aside me with that. Like, oh, you like competing in games? Bet. Oh, we need a fifth? She with me. Like, you know what I mean? Like all of this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I love that because it's not only like appeasing to my competitive nature, but now we are doing life together seamlessly.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's seamless. What do you like doing? You like going to Barnes and Nobles? You like books? Well, hey, I don't like books, but I love Barnes and Nobles. They got some of the best hot chocolate you ever had in your life. They got a record. Yeah, like it's seamless. Like it's just
Yeah.
working. It's working together. And so guys would definitely love like that trophy wife to look a certain way. And so what we try to do is we try to make the physical good features match the trophy wife features that we have in our mind, and that's when our force comes upon, and that just leads to more and more. Would you say that women do similar things in that nature?
Yes, but I'll put it like this. So I learned something recently that freed me spiritually. There's way more things that God wants me to be than what he wants me to do.
Hmm.
And I believe that we look for partners and that idea of what we want is because we're watching what they do instead of who they are. Who are they
Hmm.
being? So, although you could say, if I'm working at a homeless shelter serving Thanksgiving dinner, that's something I'm doing. So, that idea, okay, well, he does this. I'm looking for somebody that does this, and this. I'm not looking for a to do list. I'm looking
Hmm.
for a to be list because if
Oh.
he is those things, it's going to flow out of him. He's going to be what he is. So you can talk about being competitive. That might be in a game night with some other couples. That might
Hmm.
also be like, I know how much money I saved this year, I invested this year. Next year, I'm gonna kill it. That's
Hmm.
competition too. That's how I look at it. Like,
Right.
how am I going to beat myself? Or
Hmm.
found a challenge online. This might be fun. I'm gonna try it like this. Let me see if I can challenge myself to eat this certain thing or add this vegetable I hated as a kid to my diet this year. You know, all
Right.
these different things. But being a competitive person is not what you do, it's who you are.
Mm,
And me liking books, that's just something I do. But what is it
mm,
about Barnes and Noble? It's because I like peaceful settings. It's because my
mm,
escape from my daily life is my daily life looks like this, but Barnes and Noble is the opposite. So I crave that. It's
it's
because I
good.
like reading with the smell of coffee. Or is it because I like when people I like to see other people reading? Or some, you know what I'm saying? So I
Right.
think women definitely do that because one of the biggest thing is women like to see men. Women are attracted to men in authority, so they go
Mm,
after whether he is their type as far as look or not. They go after the head guy, the guy that's the CEO, the guy that's the pastor,
mm,
the guy that runs the car dealership. A certain type of woman, I should say,
right.
because oh well, if he's in charge, that has to mean certain things about who he is.
Right.
But what he's doing is conflicting with who I'm looking for as far as character. If
Right.
any of that makes sense. So I
No, it
think,
makes a lot of sense.
yeah, I think we get caught up in if does he do this, does he do that, does he have this, does he have that, instead of is he this or is he that?
Right.
Then I don't have to worry about the what he's doing and what he has.
That's good. But do you think that let's put it in, and I'm kind of putting you on the burner here. So
Come on.
so I apologize in advance. Take me through a timeline.
Okay.
So let's say early 20s is a
Hmm.
segment. That's a segment at a time. So about 20 to 25. Late mid to late 20s would be 25 to 30. And then we're just gonna do a category of 30 plus.
Okay.
Where I mean, just because like the hope, the prayer is that you got it at least somewhere in that range.
I got you.
Um, and so take me through the category of your assessment. So let's say in your early 20s, you're looking at a guy. You
Hmm.
have a let's say you have a list. So you're well off if you're in your early 20s that you got a list. That list may be crazy. It may
Right.
be he got to have some fresh Jordans. There may be stupid stuff on that list, but you got a list. Um, from your early 20s to late 20s to early 30s.
Okay.
What would you say? How much would you say changes in reference to that list? Does it get more deeper? Does it get more future focused? Does it get more shallow? Like, as a woman,
Hmm.
how much does that list change?
I think it changed for me. It changed a lot. So I would say the list got shorter.
Mm,
Um, because I realized what I needed was different.
mm,
So in my early 20s, I would say, I wouldn't say you had to have Jordans. I just feel like you got to look like something. This is
right.
what I mean by that. I don't care if your hair long, short, just do it well. I don't
Mm,
care if you got the latest J's or not. Be clean.
mm.
Um, because I'm a sucker for swag. And swag is not what you got, but it's how you rock
Talk
what you
that
got.
talk.
I'm just
Talk that
saying.
talk.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Because I can't have nobody that ain't confident. I just cannot.
Talk that
Because I
talk.
want to be, listen, this is why. I want to be proud that I'm yours. Hello? If you
Right,
over there
right.
like, oh, I hope they don't say anything. What's wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
What's man, you better stand
And
up straight.
that worked both ways. That worked both ways.
Listen, I should not be embarrassed when people say, ain't you so and so?
Ah, they done got me again. They done
Dang,
got me
right.
again. How'd y'all find out
listen,
about that? I ain't put that on
listen.
Facebook yet.
Right. I want to be proud to have your last name. Hello, you better have
Right,
some swag. I don't care what you got, but rock it and rock it
right.
right. So I think swag, I think confidence, but I think in my early 20s, um, as far as like for my future, I don't think that I was thinking about my future that deeply. I
Mm,
knew that I wanted to be married, but I knew that he had to believe in God. And I think it
mm,
stopped there. I don't think I took it to where I know better now.
Okay.
So my early 20s, of course, I want the look, because in your early 20s, it's about you trying to figure out who you are and
Mm-hmm.
what you like and what you don't like, you know. Um, so a lot of it was superficial.
Right.
Most of it was.
Same. I would agree. As a young guy in the 20s, you really you really think everything is superficial. But here's the thing, and I don't know if it's the same for girls. At 22, I thought I knew everything. I thought I knew everything until that second stage of like 25 plus, 25 to 30. I found out how much I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
so it's a little different. And so that list in your younger 20s was probably like, and for my walk, like I didn't really I was shown this new atmosphere of people who live their faith out.
Right.
I was shown this new app. So then, like, I'm literally adding things to the list in my younger 20s that I'm like, man, I didn't even know that this was important, but I can see how this is important.
Yeah.
Um, and then, but the, but I'm not gonna lie to you, the superficial stuff was still on there.
For sure.
Um, I come from a generation of Nelly, uh, older Snoop Dogg, Jay-Z, like you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
these is the people. Like you got the Sean John on, you got the Rockefeller on, Rockaware.
Yeah.
You got that stuff on, but you looking for girls who reciprocate that same energy, right?
Right.
Um, and it changed for me when I was in my late 20s because then I was the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't want nobody to look broke down, but like there was so many girls that I ran into that, gosh, you're beautiful on the outside. You're broken on the inside.
Mm.
Like you're beautiful on the outside because you want to mask the stuff that's going on in the inside.
Yep.
Um, so then I was like, man, like I don't think I can date a girl that I ain't seen with no makeup on. Like
Mm.
that was a real thing. That was a real thing. Like if I see you every single day dolled up, I'm
Yeah.
like, man, like I gotta see the realness. Like, what's real here? What's
Yeah.
real? Please tell me what's real. And if I can't see what's real, it's not a conversation.
Mm.
It's not a conversation. What about you in your late 20s? How do you think it progressed? And what is something that stuck out that was like, okay, this changes the game. This changes the game as far as expectation.
Honestly, so I got married at 25. So that was right in that spot.
Mm-hmm.
And what I learned is, looking back, it's like, wow, there are a lot of questions that I didn't know I should have asked. Um, and I think for me, the list that we're talking about, this proverbial list, changed dramatically
Hmm.
because of what I lacked. And I won't say all of the lack was on that person's, it was that person's responsibility, but I was like, man, I really need this. And I didn't know I would need this.
Right.
So the list changed. So it became things like, um, I want somebody that's sensitive to, not saying you got to read my mind, but I want somebody that's sensitive to the environment, um, sensitive to, I'll put it like this, has a relationship with God to the point where they're working together for my benefit.
Mm. Yeah.
And so when I'm low, I'm not struggling to avoid being low to the point where I'm bleeding everywhere.
Right.
So I needed that. I needed spiritual support. Um, that became probably number one. And I'm like, wow, I don't even care about all this other stuff. I don't care. I don't even care if the rent get paid if I'm feel like I'm on the edge. When you get
Mm.
to that point, when it get really real, I don't care about the car. I don't care about my closet. I don't care about no J's. I'm trying to live.
Mm,
So my list adjusted dramatically. Um, and that became like a top 3 priorities type of list. Like
mm,
if I got this, I know God take care of the rest.
right,
You know what I'm saying? And all those other things that I desire, whether it's looks or not, he'll take care of the rest because
right.
my heart is safe.
That's good. That's good. All right, I'm gonna drop you with this. I keep dropping drama. You bring
I
it
ain't
on
scared of
yourself.
your
You
bombs.
you keep saying stuff. You bring it on yourself.
I'm
And so
sorry.
this is something that I really want you to speak into. And I'm if you need time to think about this, I will go first, but I would prefer you go first because I like hearing
Okay.
what you got to say. Now we talk about now in your life right now,
Right now. Okay.
outside of the expectation, outside of the what you have already communicated to be the essentials, the having a relationship with God, knowing God, being clean, even that stuff. Right now, best case scenario, and I say this because as humans we always think about worst case scenario,
Mm.
but listen, you can think about best case scenario. What does it look like to have that best case scenario? Best case scenario, outside of your faith, outside of the looks, what is the most important attribute that your relationship can possess in order for you to be proud of it? I'm talking about, oh man, this is something that we do when we do freaking well. We do this well, and I love it. What is that thing?
Know who you are.
Mm,
It ain't nothing more attractive. It ain't nothing more exciting to come home to. It ain't
mm,
nothing more exciting to be in the back of the room and watch you walking in front of the room than a man who
mm,
know who he is.
mm.
I'm sorry.
That's
Listen,
good.
I don't care if your lineup is the opposite of crispy. I don't care if
Mm,
your taper ain't there no more. I don't care if your beard is separated.
that's good. That's
If
so
you
good.
know who you are, I'm back there grinning if I'm in the back by myself, if I'm in the car listening on the radio. I'm like, that's me. Yep, that's
Mm-hmm.
me.
Yeah, that's me.
And his kids will be like, yep, that's
Mm-hmm.
our daddy.
Yeah,
And
that's good.
and that's no exaggeration. Because if you don't know who you are, it's impossible for you to care for me. Because I'm just gonna put it like this. And I'm not trying to be boastful. I ain't trying to be all those things that people don't like
Mm-hmm.
you being. But when I found out who I was, you have to know who you are to be with me.
Uh,
Because I'm not
talk
gonna
that talk.
compete. I'm not gonna compete with you. I'm not, and I don't want you to compete with me because us together, what else is there?
Uh,
So if you
talk
know
that
who you
talk.
are, if you still trying to find that out, God bless you, my brother.
That talk. That's good.
But
That's so good.
I'm not here to mother you. I want to be your woman. And if I just need you to know, and you ain't even gotta do everything right. But if you know who you
Mm,
are, there's certain decisions that you're gonna consider.
right.
There's just a way you're gonna carry yourself, even if you don't know everything. Because that's not the requirement. Just know who you are.
That's good. Yeah, you know what? I am going to pull um the safe card, and I'm not even going to answer this question because you just dropped the mic. It's bad to pick the mic back up after the mic has been dropped. Nobody's at
Listen,
everything after that is just embarrassing. You just dropped the mic on that mug. I will end with this. This is the best advice. We talked about this previously. This is the best advice I've ever got in terms of relationship, in terms of evaluating, in terms of inspecting what you expect. We get into the point where we're not okay with the answers that what we're seeing, and we try to change things, and we try to change people.
mhm.
For us viewers, for you people out there, it is never a good business to decide that to change people. That's not a big business to get into. I pray that your relationships don't look like that. I pray that nobody's relationships look like that. And it's because of this one thing that I was told that sticks in my life, sticks into my mind. It will stick into my spirit for the rest of my life. And it was said by a wife. And so a wife was asked about her husband, and they say, how do you and your husband handle disagreements?
Hmm.
How do you and your husband handle um, differences of opinion, differences of direction? How do you handle conflict? That was the question that they asked this woman. And she gave the best thing in the world. She said, a lot of people get into trying to change their husband. A lot of people try to get into the business of trying to change their wife, their husband, their boyfriend, girlfriend, like whatever. They get into trying to change people. But as a believer, when you accept this one fact, I'm about to tell it to you. When you accept this one fact, things become so much easier. Here it goes. And write this on, for people listening, write this. I don't know if you need to write this on your refrigerator, your vision board, or whatever. You are not his Holy Spirit. You are not her Holy Spirit. And what that means is the Holy Spirit gives the spirit of conviction. You can't change anybody who doesn't want to be changed.
You're
You
gonna
can't
lose.
force change on anybody who doesn't already have that in them and doesn't want to go that route. We are not tyrants. We are not dictators. We are not all powerful, in control people that we think that we are most times. Please, the best thing you can do, and this is what she continued to say, the best thing I can do for my husband as a wife is to pray for him. Why? Because I know somebody who can convict his spirit. And in conviction first means, by definition, conviction first means you can recognize the way that you're going is the wrong route. Not for anybody else, but because of you. And then in turn see the reason and the need and the desire to want to do a 180 and go a different route. So you are not that person's Holy Spirit. The best thing you can do is be an advocate for them in prayer. And literally everything that you mentioned today, everything you glossed over and dived into, it was amazing. So for sure, that is something we definitely got to do. But for everybody out there, what do you think? What are some things that you love that we talked about today? Add to the conversation. Do you guys even have lists? How old are you? Do you even have lists? Does this things even exist? Have you met people that are in their 30s and like, man, I still don't know what I want to do? Because they out there too. So talk about it for sure. We definitely enjoy having you here on Set Apart with Red and Didi. And we're just going to wrap up with that. How you feel about that, Didi?
Thought it was great. I appreciate all the hot seats, but it's okay. I ain't scared. That's
Yeah,
what we're here for.
They're gonna be fire on you in the comment section with the dang Christmas songs, because I know you done left out a lot. But we love it, y'all. We'll holler at y'all later on our next episode of Set Apart. We'll holler at y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Hey, this is your girl Didi from Set Apart with Ren and Didi. Thank you so much for tuning in to this latest installment. Don't forget to subscribe to wherever you listen to podcasts.